What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to your stimulus package update and daily news report for Saturday, October 9th. Hopefully you had an incredible week, but hopefully your weekend is even better. First, I'm going to address the $1,000 versus $1,400 stimulus checks. There's been a lot of discussions on that. A lot of people are asking in the comments for me to address it, so I'm going to do that in today's video. We're also going to dive into a stimulus package update. I want to explain why we're seeing potential trouble in the Senate moving forward, and we will give you some daily news at the end. So here's what I want to first start off with. $1,000 versus $1,400 stimulus checks. Where is that coming from? Is it coming from lawmakers? Is it coming from President Biden? Who's it coming from? Well, here's what you need to know. There is a senior group that is calling for Congress to send out $1,400 stimulus checks to all Social Security recipients. Okay? This group, okay, and again, I've been getting a lot of questions on this, so I want to address this first. This group, it's the Senior Citizens League. They are saying that right now, the cost of living adjustment for 2022 is not going to be big enough. It will not be big enough next year. Even though 6% will be a historic number, they say the prices of products keep going up. They are going to be larger than 6%, so it actually doesn't help. Here's what I can tell you. Food prices alone are up about 32.8%. Almost 33%. Almost a third. That's crazy. The cost of living adjustment bump, this could actually push people into a higher tax bracket, which is another issue, right? Going into a higher tax bracket, first, you're most likely gonna have to pay a higher premium for your Medicare plan, and the surcharges are gonna be increased as well. So things are gonna get a little bit more expensive as you get more money. That's a problem. And so this is one of the issues with Social Security. Now, could Congress come out and change the rules? Yes, they could. Will they? Probably not. So we'll see what happens there. But what we are hearing right now is something needs to be done soon in order to help seniors. This group is saying that more should have been done a long time ago, but being that nothing was done, they're going to push for something now. However, here's where the narrative of $1,400 versus $1,000 is coming from. The group is calling for $1,400 stimulus checks. Is that likely? No, that is not likely. As a stimulus check, the way we have been, kind of accustomed to, they're not coming out, okay? But here's where we are seeing $1,000. Right now, we are hearing discussions are still ongoing regarding the expansion of Medicare. If Medicare gets expanded to include vision, hearing, and dental, those three, then and only then we could potentially see a $1,000 stimulus debit card. Okay? I've discussed this before. I talked about this a few weeks ago. This is actually coming back, and one of the reasons why is because Senator Bernie Sanders is pushing for Medicare to be expanded. We know it will not go from 65 down to 60 as far as the age requirement. However, vision, dental, and hearing are three that are supposed to be included. So we'll see if that happens. But if it does, then the $1,000 stimulus debit card, according to reports, this would be needed to pay for these services while, or in the meantime, before they actually get included into Medicare. Okay. So this is something that if we see Medicare get expanded, there will be some form of payment to people on Social Security. Now, here's the other question I've been getting a lot. Well, okay, what if I don't need anything for vision? Can I take that money and use it somewhere else? According to multiple Senate aides, they say yes, that the way it's being discussed is that $1,000 stimulus debit card is just that. You can use it on anything. It's not going to be tied to vision, dental, or hearing. So you could take that money and go shopping with it if you wanted to. But then when it comes to paying for bifocals or glasses, buying dentures or a hearing aid, if you need that stuff, well, then you're going to have to pay out of your pocket because you used the funds that the government sent you on that stimulus debit card. So essentially, it's just $1,000 to people on Social Security, right? That's really all it is. So just wanted to leave you with that because right now there's a lot of discussions. Okay, are we getting $1,000 or are we getting $1,400? But the truth is, the $1,000 is meant for people on Social Security. The $1,400, that was never even really discussed within Congress. Okay, that was in the past. That's not something that's being discussed right now. But as always, if I do hear rumors or news that yes, a potential stimulus check is coming out, I promise I will bring you an update on that as soon as possible. But let's get into the stimulus package update. Here's what we know. President Biden got a letter from Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell just the other day. Now I'm going to explain what he says in this letter, but he's pretty much talking about how Republicans are not going to provide any additional help moving forward. So, how does this affect the stimulus negotiations? Well, according to reports, Senator Joe Manchin wants to see President Biden play ball with Republicans. If we see a $2 trillion bill pass, that's going to be a historic investment into the American people and the economy. So, Senator Joe Manchin, he wants to see the Republican Party have some say in this. Now, is he still going to vote for the budget reconciliation? Probably. But it depends on the price, the top line number, what's included. But here's what Senator Mitch McConnell said yesterday in the letter. And I quote, "Last night, Republicans filled the leadership vacuum that has troubled the Senate since January. I write to inform you that I will not provide such assistance again if your all-Democrat government drifts into another avoidable crisis." The Senate Democratic leader had 3 months' notice to handle one of the most basic governing duties. Embarrassingly, it got to the point where senators on both sides were pleading for leadership to fill the void and protect our citizens. I stepped up. Your lieutenants on Capitol Hill now have the time they claim they lacked to address the debt ceiling through standalone reconciliation and all the tools to do it. They cannot invent another crisis and ask for my help. That was there was other things in the letter, but those were the 3 main pieces. Okay? They had 3 months. Senator Schumer had 3 months to handle this, increase the debt ceiling on his own through reconciliation. Well, what happened was many business leaders, CEOs, large companies, they actually started calling GOP leader Mitch McConnell in order to get him to step up because this was going to impact their business. We also learned that Senator Mitch McConnell, he wanted to do this because, first, he didn't want to see the debt ceiling be breached. That would have been good for anybody. But in addition to that, he didn't want the narrative to be that Republicans did absolutely nothing. Republicans knew there was not enough time and did absolutely nothing. So, he gave them a choice. This was his choice. Now, even though Democrats can say Republicans are going to do absolutely nothing the next time, Mitch McConnell is saying that I'm giving you another warning. I'm giving you another chance. It's not going to happen again. So, how does this impact the stimulus negotiations? How does this impact the human infrastructure bill? Here's what this does. If we see the budget reconciliation, get used on this debt ceiling increase or suspension, then it can't be used on the human infrastructure bill. But what we are expecting to see is that the human infrastructure bill and the debt ceiling increase get merged together as one bill. If this happens and it's one bill, then the expectation is the stimulus package is going to be smaller. I think after it gets, and it's seriously at $1.5 trillion, I think we can stop calling it a stimulus package because there's not going to be much stimulus in it. But that's what lawmakers are saying. And here's the tough part. One week, they will call it the stimulus package because they're trying to get the American people a little bit excited for the stimulus. But then the next week, things change. They call it the Build Back Better Act because, well, they don't know what's going to be in it, so they just call it the Build Back Better Act. But then the next week, they call it the Human Infrastructure Bill because more of the pieces in it are going to go to the American people. Or they call it the stimulus package again. It goes around and around. And that's the crazy part, is that nobody knows what to call it because nobody knows what is in it. But again, like I said, I think if it gets settled on $1.5 trillion, I think we can stop calling it a stimulus package because it's not going to have much in it. Now, let's get to unemployment benefits. I want to address this because what we are hearing is that the unemployment benefits making a comeback is most likely at zero. It's not going to happen. According to the Labor Secretary, Marty Walsh, he says, we don't need enhanced benefits to come back. He says that we are moving in the right direction. And even though despite we're adding 194,000 new jobs last month, we missed our target at 500,000. We missed it by 306,000 jobs in 1 month. That's not good. That was a huge miss. This also means that the progressives that are pushing for the 5 additional months of unemployment benefits and for them to possibly be retroactive all the way back until September 6th, well, this looks like it's not going to happen. This looks like they're not going to get their way. So for those that are still unemployed, right now what we're hearing is the only way to put income into your pocket is to go and find a job. But one expert says, find any job that you can. Then, while employed, search for something more suited to you and your skill set. So this expert's saying, go and find any job. I don't care if you were the CEO of your company. I don't care if you were a small business owner. If you have to go and be a janitor, a bus driver, go and work at a fast food restaurant or whatever, that's completely fine. Go and do it. He's saying it doesn't matter. Go find any job, put money into your pocket, and then while you're working that job, go find something better suited for you. That's what he's saying. Now, I understand the thinking. Go find any job just so you can make some money. That's great. Here's the issue with that. I just want to provide this little, this is for me. The issue with going to find any job is many people, as soon as they find a job and they go through the hurdles and the hassle of getting that job, they are most likely going to stick to that job for a set period of time. 6 months, a year, maybe a little bit longer. Here's the problem. You are now working a new job. You're most likely tired because if you were on unemployment for the past year and now you're working 8 hours a day, maybe even longer, it's going to be somewhat tiring. So what I expect to happen is you go and get that job. You will most likely not go and look for another job. You will most likely let your skills that you had in the past, they will atrophy even further. So here's my suggestion to you. Go and get a job, yes. Work 8 hours per day, okay, yes. But spend 2 to 3 hours per day. 2 to 3 hours per day. Either learning a new skill that you can implement into the job that you actually want, or, okay, take some type of course. Get licensed in something, okay? Start your own business in the 2 to 3 hours per day. That's more than enough time, okay? That's my advice to you. Now I want to get to the COVID news and I want to get to some other news as well. First, in COVID news, multiple pediatric hospitals across the country are now saying there has been an increased number of multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children. I think that's called like MIS or MSIC or something like that. It has some name to it. But this is a rare condition that it affects and inflammates different parts of the body. For instance, like your heart, your lungs, kidneys, brain, skin, different things like that, different organs, okay? Now, 61% of the cases occurred in children who were either Hispanic or Latino or black, okay? Children 6 to 11, that's the age group. These are the ones that are reporting the highest number of cases of this. So if your child, for some reason, their eyes are getting a little bit inflamed, right? They look puffy. Maybe, okay, if this is an allergies, maybe take them in to get them checked, okay? Just always go in and discuss anything with your physician or your child's physician. Make sure that they are looking into you every single time. Because yes, even though some people will be like, oh, I know what it is, just go on YouTube and do this. That's not a licensed physician, or in most cases they're not, okay? So go to somebody that actually knows your past history. Now in other news, yesterday the Biden administration, they canceled the remaining contracts from former President Donald Trump's border wall. This actually has Republicans absolutely furious over why they did this. They're now saying that President Biden has no idea how to handle his border crisis. Republican Senator Tom Cotton said, canceling construction of the border wall isn't going to solve the Biden border crisis. And the White House responded with this. I'm going to read you the statement and I will leave you with that. The White House responded with, and I quote, building a massive border wall that spans the entire southern border and costs American taxpayers billions of dollars is not a serious policy solution or responsible use of federal funds. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with that. You can let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below. But again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.